Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to my show. I'm Sean David. Let's talk some old school NBA. Now in today's episode, I want to talk about one of the most underrated players of the 1980s and 1990s, Deathless Shrimp, in his rivalries and matchups against Scottie Pippen. But before we start, I want to give a quick shout out to my Patreons. Thanks a lot you guys for supporting the show, it's really appreciated. And I would say enough said, let's get right into it.
At the last count, the Americans imported 29 million bottles of German beer, 816,000 German Frankfurters, and no fewer than 159,000 German cars. But interestingly, they only imported one German basketball player.
32, Deathless Shrimp.
German-born. We think of Dirk Nowitzki, but Deathless Shrimp was doing a lot of things that Dirk did before Dirk.
A minute straight up to go, and Shrimp connects from the outside again.
Front court, up court is Deathless Shrimp for the dunk. Pulls up 5.
And a team that, obviously lost there in the finals to the Bulls, but, could have very well been a world champion. And a lot of it, Deathless Shrimp played a major role on that team. And just the versatility that he brought to the table. He really didn't have a weakness. He could do everything on the court. And was certainly a tough opponent.
Alright, before we get to the comparisons and matchups between Scottie Pippen and Deathless Shrimp, let me take you back to the beginning of Deathless Shrimp's NBA career. Deathless Shrimp was born on the 21st of January in 1963 in Leverkusen, Germany. Like most German kids, he started to play soccer until he grew so much that he finally realized that basketball probably was the better choice for him. At the young age of 11, he stopped to play soccer and fell in love with basketball. When he was 18, he moved to the United States and played college ball in Washington. Drafted with the 8th pick in the 1985 NBA draft, Deathless was one of the few Europeans who ever made it to the NBA. His playing style was a little bit different than your typical NBA player. He could handle the ball with his size and he could shoot the outside ball, a skill that at that time not many big men had. Shrimp was never the most athletic guy on the floor, but the one thing to me that always was outstanding was his basketball IQ. He learned extremely fast while he was playing for the Dallas Mavericks, and in 1989 he joined the Indiana Pacers, where he became the 6th man of the year 2 times in a row. On most teams he probably would have been a starter, but Deathless Shrimp made sure that this role would be his. Now in the beginning of the video you heard how Grant Hill said that Deathless Shrimp hardly had a weakness, and it was true, he was a great all-around basketball player. In the next clip you will see that he literally could do everything.
To Harper. Shrimp, three-point set shot from the left is in.
They let him walk right up to it. They know he's the leading. Whoever's near him has got to get up and make him give the ball away.
By 3 here. Here's Donaldson in the lane. Left to Shrimp. Another three-point try and another basket. That's a set play. Guarded by Jordan. Blackman on the drive against Jordan in the lane. Shoots under pressure. Short. Rebound. Shrimp fakes. Fadeaway jumper. Rimming good. Deathless Shrimp.
Now we have to remember at that time not too many Europeans played in the NBA. The reputation of European players was that they are soft, but that left proof that he was more than the cliche. Most fans remember Deathless while he was playing for the Seattle Supersonics because that was his prime. He was averaging 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists, all-star stats. In 1996, his team, the Seattle Supersonics with Gary Payton and Sean Kemp, made it to the NBA Finals to play against the Chicago Bulls. There you could take a closer look at the matchup between Deathless Shrimp and Scottie Pippen. Pippen, who was an incredible defender, actually the 2nd best defenders of all time in my opinion, only had a handful of players where he didn't match up too well. But Deathless Shrimp, with his size advantage, really held his own against Scottie Pippen. And every once in a while, he even made Pippen look bad.
Get down low.
tied at 12. Able to free himself up. 9 points for.
As you can see, Deathless Shrimp was really doing well against Scottie Pippen. Now, if we take a closer look at the numbers, then you will see that their stats are super close. They both had a total of 35 matchups against each other, while Scottie Pippen always had more minutes. But Deathless Shrimp shot better from the field, from the three-point line and free throws. He averaged more rebounds, but Scottie Pippen was better in the assists department, steals and blocks. And with the points, as you can see, they were almost even. Now that we took a look at the matchups between Scottie Pippen and Deathless Shrimp, I think it would be a good idea to talk to the man himself, Deathless Shrimp. Deathless, how you doing?
Well, thanks for having me, Sean. Appreciate it.
Now, while I was doing my research for this video, I came across some very interesting numbers, Detlef. I was comparing your numbers to Scottie Pippen's numbers while you guys were playing against each other, and it looks like you were a tough matchup for him, even a bad matchup for him, made him look bad every once in a while. Yeah, what do you say to that?
I don't know the stats. I never really looked at them. I felt that, I had a disadvantage to a lot of guys defensively, because I guarded so many different players. I guarded guys from Michael Jordan to Tim Duncan's, or Karl Malone. Sometimes I got somebody that was a lot faster and somebody that was a lot bigger. So it was an adjustment, and you had to play really smart. I just played percentage defense, and I did my scouting report. I knew if somebody wasn't shooting well going to the left, I'm going to go make them go left. So I play percentage defense, but on offense, I thought I could play against anybody because I was not one-dimensional. So if I know with Scottie, I went right to the post. I posted him up all the time, and he was not a post defender. He didn't want to be a post defender, so I know I had an advantage in the post. And with other guys like Tim Duncan, I knew I can't take him in the post. So I would take him outside. So it's just I don't know who had a better matchup when and where and over time, but I felt like if I played smart on defense and I take advantage of what I can do on offense, I had a chance to compete against anybody. And Chuck Barkley always tells me, you couldn't guard me. And I said, well, neither could you. And you didn't even try, So when I look at the numbers, when I played against Charles, I would get an easy 20 because he didn't even take me serious in the post, So it's things like that,
Now, since your playing days are over, you kept yourself pretty busy. Actually, you have a current project. You also wear the shirt already. Your project is now with Jamal Crawford and Bill Russell. Can you tell me something about it?
Yeah, obviously you know what has happened in the United States, but worldwide for so many years. And when George Floyd got murdered, and he's obviously not the only one that has happened to the last years or even months now. There was a big shift in the U.S. and it took me a couple of weeks to figure out. How I can use my platform to have some type of impact, because I'm not the face of it. I can't be the voice of it, but I definitely can bring people together and create some type of, moving forward. Because this is a moment, but we got to make that a movement, and and we can't let this die down again, because actually, this logo right here, Erase the Hate. Our nanny started this after Rodney King in the 90s. So we've had shirts like this since the 90s, and here we are in 2020. We're still talking about the same thing, right? So I believe right now it's kind of the time, because there's so much momentum, not just in the U.S. but worldwide, to drive for this change. So I figured, okay, what can I do? I have a good network. I can bring people together. I can raise money. I can create awareness. And I can relate, because even though I am not black, I have biracial children. I'm married to a black woman. I've lived in that environment for a long time, faced from a parent standpoint, face some of those issues. But I wanted other people to be, part of this and kind of be maybe more the face of it. So the first one was Jamal Crawford, who is so engaged in our community in Seattle. I've got Isaiah Thomas, Bill Russell, obviously at his age is struggling to do anything in public, but he's given us his support. He's given us his online personality. I got Jimmy Lake, who's a huge outspoken guy here. He's a Husky football coach, which is huge. Pat Monahan from Train, Macklemore, and Alicia Clark from the Seattle Storm. And still working on other people, because what we've done, we're matching funds. So if you say, I don't have much to give, but I have $10, I want to give it to the cause. And here are our charities we support from, first of all, get everyone out to vote. But then, as a Black Lives Matter and NAACP or whatever, you can put that $10, you can put $1 to each charity, and we match it up to a certain amount. So, and I'm getting more people to match. So we are trying to compound that, because everyone can do something, right? You might not have a lot of money, but you can give a couple dollars. You can volunteer. You can, show your passion through activism. Support with financially for sure, or you can definitely vote, have an impact that way. So we're just trying to get people together and keep driving this movement.
For more information, make sure you follow Deathless Shrimp on Twitter. And for the full interview, make sure you follow the Basketball Time Machine podcast on iTunes and on Spotify.